Okay, let's dive right into the London housing market numbers for October 2025. This deep dive comes to you with expert insights from Forest Hill Real Estate, their distinction branch right here in London, Ontario. It's really aimed at you, whether you're thinking of buying, selling, or maybe investing. And hey, if you want even more detail after this, you can always check out their website, www.foresthilldistinction.com.
Absolutely. So our goal today really is just to cut through the noise and unpack the key takeaways from the latest L-Star housing market update. L-Star being the London and St. Thomas Association of Realtors.
And honestly, there were some genuinely encouraging signs in October. It felt like maybe buyer confidence is starting to creep back after being stalled for a while.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Let's look at the sales activity first.
Okay.
We saw 607 homes sold in October. Now that's quite a jump from September, where we only saw 534 sales.
Wow. Okay, so definite month-over-month momentum there. Feels like buyers maybe jumped back in.
It certainly looks that way.
Hmm.
But, and this is important context,
Oh,
despite that surge compared to September, we're still actually down compared to last October, about 8.7% lower than October 2024 sales.
right. Okay, so more activity recently, but still lagging year over year. Why is that, do you think? Is it supply?
I think it connects directly to supply, yeah. Inventory is, well, it's probably the biggest story for buyers right now. We're sitting at over 5 months of supply.
5 months. That sounds like a lot.
It is. It's actually the highest level we've seen in the last 10 years.
Wow.
So you've got this high inventory, but also what the LSAR chair noted as growing consumer confidence, maybe potentially fueled by the latest Bank of Canada interest rate news. It makes for a complex picture.
So lots of choice for buyers, maybe feeling a bit more confident, but so much product out there, it takes time to move.
Sort of, yeah. But it's not like the market's fallen off a cliff. If you look year to date, we've had about 6,057 homes sold,
Okay.
which is actually pretty steady. It's right on par with the totals we saw in the last couple of years.
All right, so stable overall volume, despite the month-to-month shifts and the high inventory. What about prices? That's what everyone always wants to know.
Always the big question, isn't it? So the average sales price in October was $606,000.
606,000. How does that compare?
Well, it's down 3.7% compared to October 2024. And it's also a noticeable dip from just September, which was sitting around 623,000.
Okay, so a dip in the average price. Does that mean values are really dropping fast?
Not necessarily. And this is why we really like to look beyond just the average price. The MLS Home Price Index, the HPI, is generally a better measure.
Right, the HPI tracks the typical home, doesn't it? Smooths out the highs and lows.
Exactly. It gives you a much more stable picture of underlying value changes. And the L-Star Composite HPI for October, it was $561,000.
561,000, and compared to September.
Down just 0.2%. Barely a change.
Ah, okay. So the average price fluctuated maybe because of the mix of homes sold, but the actual value of a typical home held pretty firm.
That's the takeaway, yes. Core values are holding steady.
Interesting. Okay, let's break it down a bit by housing type. What did we see there?
Well, for single-family homes overall, the HPI was $612,000.
A movement there.
Basically flat. It was up just 0.1% from September, so very stable.
Okay.
But the real energy, interestingly, was in the one-story home segment. Their HPI hit $556,000.
When that was.
That was at 1.3% compared to September. That's the strongest month-over-month growth we saw in any major category.
Huh. One-story homes leading the pack? What about the others? Two stories, townhouses.
They cooled off a bit, actually. The two-story HPI landed at $667,000, which is down 0.8% from September.
Okay.
And townhouses were similar. Their HPI was $463,000, down 0.9% month-over-month.
So one-story homes are heating up a little, while two stories and townhouses are cooling slightly. What does that suggest? Affordability, maybe?
It strongly suggests that, yes, it looks like buyers might be shifting focus.
Yeah.
Perhaps prioritizing that slightly lower entry point of a one-story detached home compared to the, larger two stories or even townhouses where prices soften a touch.
Makes sense. So putting London in the bigger Canadian picture, how do we stack up?
Still looking like a pretty good value proposition, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
Our overall L-Star HPI, that 561,000 figure.
Yeah.
Compare that to the national average HPI, which is hovering around $680,000. We're substantially lower.
Right. Definitely more accessible than many other major markets. So wrapping this up, what's the outlook? Finish the year strong.
The signs point towards it, with buyer confidence seemingly returning and this record amount of inventory giving buyers lots of choice. it feels like the market's set up for a solid finish to the year.
And activity picking up into 2026.
That seems like the likely trajectory, yes. Continued gradual recovery.
Lots to consider.
Definitely nuanced.
Mhm.
The opportunity is certainly there, but navigating this kind of high inventory market, well, talking to an expert realtor is probably your best bet. And you can connect with one through Forest Hill Distinction.